It makes you feel 10 years younger, so for me that works.
79-year-old Karen Hancock bought this car new 55 years ago for $2,500.
You want to pick up men? That's the way to go.
More than 400,000 miles later, Karen, who describes herself as a little blonde woman in a Porsche convertible and grew up in the German city where Porsche manufactured many of its first 356s.
I was 10 or 11 years old and I saw these funny little things driving around Stuttgart, and I said, someday I'll have one of these.
Has more recently received offers of $200,000 for her 1962 356, but insists it's not a collector's car.
I drove it to school, I drove it to college, I drove it on vacations, I took it to the supermarket.
On Sunday, Karen drove her Porsche to a Gatsby-esque mansion in Muttontown, New York, and parked beside 500 other Porsches from the last half-century.
This is not just a car show with some Porsches. These are extraordinary cars that you may never see again in your lifetime.
Founder and executive director of Collector Car Showcase and Driven to America, and a Porsche collector himself, David Jacobson organized this summit of Porsches, driven here by fellow enthusiasts from as far away as Canada, Chicago, and North Carolina, in honor of a man named Max Hoffman.
Besides being the largest taxpayer in the U.S. in the 50s, so he did well financially, but more importantly, he was a visionary.
In the 50s and 60s, a New York-based Max Hoffman imported the first Jaguars, Volkswagens, BMWs, Alfa Romeos, and Porsches to the United States.
He actually designed and told Porsche how to build the Porsche Speedster.
In his 35 years spent attending car shows, collector Ken Sober called this Max Hoffman tribute the most impressive assembly of Porsches he'd yet seen. A caucus of, in his opinion, some of the most drivable cars ever assembled.
All the controls are in your hands and you drive the car.
The air-cooled Porsche, its engine regulating temperature without the help of a liquid coolant, drivers praise for its refusal to drive itself like so many of the more soulless models on the market today, leading Porsches like these to command a sense of wonder, mystique, and an inexplicable allure over all those who like to drive.
They have a tremendous amount of history.
The only way to explain that is you have to get behind the wheel of a car like this and drive it around.
It's an experience beyond description.
Karen once retrieved her Porsche from a tune-up in Florida while on vacation, only to discover the technician had left a screwdriver behind in her engine.
I said to the mechanic, you shouldn't be leaving your tools in customer cars. He was a German, about 6 foot tall. He looked at me and said, I did that on purpose. I was hoping you'd come back. I wanted to see you again.
And so began a 30-year friendship.
He fixed my car every time I went to Florida.
That experience, and those mostly unlike it of the hundreds of thousands of other Porsche owners in this nation, Max Hoffman made possible, placing America's first order for the racing heritage, still independent manufacturing, and enchanting driving experience of the Porsche 67 years ago.
They drive beautiful, they sound great, they smell great.
No, you drive it. You don't hang it on the wall like a picture.
You get in your car in the morning, you take it for a little ride, it does wonders for you.
In Muttontown, Long Island, I'm Matt King, Fox 5 News.